And I'm thinking that whoever was there, and that's why I think there's a lot of intelligence going on in this little Field of Dreams area. This is a monitored area or something. So here I am describing about this anomalous thing that happened the year before, and then I'm being monitored again by something behind a tree that's shape-shifting and keeping tabs of what I'm saying. Okay?
That is interesting.
So,
I'd be scared.
Well, I didn't see. The thing is, I didn't know he was there. I'm walking right past the shapeshifter, and it's only after I catch it on video or someone points it out, and then I'm so, oh my God, So anyway, that came out like almost a week or two after. So I'm going into September already of 2015, and I go back up there on the 9th of September. I'm doing the same thing. So I'm walking through. I walk through this field area, and then I suddenly turn around and took pictures. And honestly, I do a lot of this. I was starting to do this by gut feeling or intuition or something, which is going to allude to a little bit of maybe psychic awareness or something at that point. But something told me to turn around and take a picture. Okay, great. I don't see anything. I take the picture. I'm not looking at the picture then. And I walk through, and something tells me to keep something's here, and I'm taking the camera, putting it on video mode after I took a few pictures and going back and forth and looking for something, and then I went home. Well, I go on my computer, and I'm looking at the one picture that I took, or I took a series of them, and I'm looking at one of them, and I do a close-up. I can zoom in on my computer. And I'm looking in the middle of the field area, and it says, the first thing I see is kind of a dark Bigfoot entity that's standing. I said, oh my goodness, what's standing over there? And just behind the leaves of the tree. And then while I'm looking at that, I'm looking over and I'm seeing what looked like, the first impression looked like the Mother Mary standing there in the middle of the field. I mean, because there was kind of the shroud look of a tall entity, and we're not talking about little people, we're not talking about Bigfoot, we're talking about something that's closer to human size, a 5 to 6 foot tall person. So I zoom in and take a look at it now. At this point, I'm able to see, I can see these in the pictures really well, because I got used to seeing something, how I know what to look for now, and I'm seeing this image of looks like a female, like almost an ET female or something like that, wearing clothing, just staring at me, okay? And there's some other entities behind her. So I tried to enhance the pictures of that over the past couple of years, trying to find the best way to get, people would see all sorts of things in pictures, and I know what I'm seeing, but I get frustrated because I know what I'm seeing, but other people are seeing some other things. So I don't dismiss what they're seeing, okay? But I'm seeing, if you go on the slides from tonight, like on the very first slide, so the alien girl in the Field of Dreams, I have an enhancement technique now that I've improved upon in the past couple of years, so this is going on 4 years later, that you can plainly see the flesh tone area of the face and the neck area with a very rounded, like, I don't know what you call those, it's kind of a pleated, how they used to wear over the top of their shoulders and everything, like royalty would or a soldier or something, kind of like what you'd see in the Egyptians. The ancient Egyptians used to wear or something like that, kind of metally looking pleats around the thing. That's what I'm seeing right here. And I got a pretty good, best enhancement I could probably do for this right now, and it's showing that there is definitely a very thin, human-like face in the middle, but it's either a helmet on the head or some kind of headdress or something or another, But obviously a state of shock that I took the picture, and then because I walked right through that area right afterwards, after I took the picture, and there was nothing there.
Now, I saw that. You posted that the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I looked at that, and I figured two things. Either it was a helmet, or, I hate to say it, they're not very good looking.
I don't know. I'm looking at like that's hair on the top of the head, like way up there, like hair, white hair on top, and then it's maybe a scarfing or something around the head area. I'm just looking at the flesh tone part of it being the head and then some kind of covering at the top, because I could see that the small head underneath it and everything. But anyway, I'm not going to even attempt to try to enhance it much further than what I've shown on the slides here, because that was the only time I was able to take one picture. Usually I'll take multiple pictures. I didn't do that in this case, and she disappeared. It disappeared. I mean, so something comes into being and then it disappears.
Well, one thing too, Samantha, there's a lot of people who believe Bigfoot are actually connected with aliens. Then I've had some other UFO, people claim that Bigfoot, are actually aliens that actually send to you, make you think. They kind of like scan your brain and, like maybe your worst fear or what are you thinking about? And that's, they become that object. If you're thinking Bigfoot, then you'll see a Bigfoot. If you're like one guest I had on, all of a sudden seen owls after he actually thought he was abducted, the day before. And all of a sudden he was a park ranger. And all of a sudden everywhere he went, he started seeing owls like crazy. And, like I explained to him, I said, maybe because when you were abducted, that's what you might have been thinking about owls. So every time now you see a group of owls somewhere weird, there might not be owls. They could be aliens.
It's very possible. But what these experiments, I'm going to kind of jump to fast forwarding now to more recent. And of course, I came to conclusions about things. There's only so much in the box physical evidence you're going to find. Okay, I spent 2 or 3 years so how many casts are you going to do of footprints? You'll find stick structures. You might capture a picture, and a decent picture once in a blue moon, okay? These are all physical signs, and of course I have captured the lone footprint in the snow where nobody else walked this. So I'm started approaching this. I'm thinking, okay, that's fine, the physical part. It's the things that could not explain is what I'm really trying to hone in on. It says, number one, I had to readjust my priorities, my objective here. First thing was, I'm not going to be out there trying to prove anything to anybody. If they're not convinced with all the evidence out there that Bigfoot's real, then shame on them. If that's what they want to believe, you're not going to convince people to believe anything except what they think they're going to believe in. So it's not even my intent in the past couple of years to even go down that road. So since I was totally convinced, not only that Bigfoot, because I actually had interactions with him, but now that I've seen portals, I've seen orbs, and so I know all this stuff exists. So knowing that, I take it to the next level. Say, what is the science saying? What is going on here? Okay, so and I knew I had to go beyond physical. I started researching things about the mind and the consciousness and the psyche. That's where I started developing more an interest in developing psychic ability, which I had some initially, but I started associating with a psychic group in Fife, Washington, the Psychic Spectrum. I'm really good friends by it, run that. And and then as of late, I have and I'm still participating in this, is learning shamanic practices, which actually is focusing your mind and energy. Because I really feel that what's the difference between a Bigfoot and a human being? Well, if they have these abilities, then it's just the DNA is different. Okay, what could possibly be different with the DNA that causes them to do something we can't? I'm starting to think that we did have these abilities. So whatever they're doing, we should be able to do it too. But I think it's more of a case of atrophy. Oh, someone's calling?
Yeah, we got actually a caller. Who do we have out there?
Hi, Gary. This is James.
Hi, James. How you doing tonight?
Not bad. I was just curious, Samantha, that cloaking you were talking about, do you have a way to uncloak their hair so you can see them better?
Okay. Yeah, when you see, obviously they're not totally invisible. So the cloaking sometimes gives them a luminous. They're able to bend light a little bit around them, so there's still an outline presence or something, kind of like gel. Okay. I've been able, not in real time, but I've been able to use some photo enhancement techniques that have been able to more solidify the cloaking part of them to actually see them better in pictures. But I haven't been able to focus on something in real time that'll be able to break that down further. So I've been speculating about different reasons. Actually, I've gone down the whole quantum thing about, I've actually written several articles on my site on planetsasquatch.com that's starting to talk about how they blink in and out of reality and what a reality is all about. So very interesting stuff if you want to read about that.
Yeah, really. And do you think that the aliens are abducting them, or are they bringing them here? What's your opinion on that?
Well, you're talking about bringing the Bigfoots here?
Yeah. Do you think they're bringing them here, or are they abducting them?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about abduction of the Bigfoot. I do have a sneaking suspicion that when you start talking Bigfoot or even humans, or you're talking about the past ancient histories, I think there's good evidence that there is a native human-like being that was on this planet, but we are kind of, I think there's been a lot of hybridization that's taken place that connects us with the ETs ourselves, so that we're part ET ourselves. So I'm fully convinced that we're not we're the offspring of star people. The star people, kind of the native Indian legends talks about this too. So I'm fully convinced that there's a bigger, wider connection to this whole thing. That there's no simple answer for this. There's no good guys and bad guys. There's all sorts of agendas that have to do with abductions. I think there's a segment that made deals with governmental agencies that might have participated in abductions of certain people, like the cattle mutilation thing and whatever. But I think by and large that I don't know. There's a bigger picture to this, and I'm trying to. I don't think there's a single answer for it.
Right. And one more quick thing. Do you have a certain thing that you can do that attracts them? Like if you wanted to go out and find them and film them or study them, that's something you can do to increase your odds of bringing them around? Yes.
I established a protocol, and it is about I posted my latest video, which actually is me talking about what I do. I take a flute out into the woods. First of all, I try to have a good attitude, because they can pick that up right away. Just like we always talk about dogs can sense something, or animals can sense your attitude. Well, they certainly could do it. And if you got a rotten attitude, they'll know it a mile away. They won't come near you. So you better have a good attitude when you go out there. Be respectful of the forest. You're not out there trying to hunt something down. You can talk, and you can play a flute. They love music. It brings them out. I use a flute all the time, and I even had a viewer on one of my YouTube channels when I was talking about and just raving about the fact I tried your techniques, and it's amazing. I'm getting all this interaction now. So it does work. So you might look into it.
Oh, wow. Thanks. Well, that was some good answers. Thanks a lot, Samantha. Gary, thanks a lot for letting me ask a few questions.
Well, thank you for calling in, James.
All right. Have a nice night, guys.
You too.
Thanks. Yeah, so, I'm starting to go down a different path. I'm learning more about my friend Ron Moorhead. You may know Ronald Moorhead.
Yeah, he's been on my show.
Yeah, he's been on the show. He's recently written the book, The Quantum Bigfoot, and which is breaking some ground. Which actually is showing people that with the new advances in quantum physics and about the new understanding about our reality can be multiple realities. I mean, you can have an infinite number of universes and dimensional shifts and things like that. I have speculated